welcome to BeoTalk number 336. Let's see.
Am I muted? Let's just check all that nonsense.
No, it seems like it stayed for once. Yay!
Because the communists updated everything.
Let's see. The other side did, for some reason, change. Weird. Okay. No, we should be good.
Right on.
Yay. So to get that out of the way, I hope everybody's doing well. It's been a while. Odd few weeks. Oh yeah, go chill. Go buy stuff at Skinny Blame. Why are you enormous all of a sudden? Your internet is better than
my internet. Good.
Go buy stuff at Skinny Play. Use the promo code for 10% off. It's in the chat. There's that. Go buy yourself some aluminium covers at Tigrino Studio. 10% off on every item. Link for that is also in the chat, and I'll spam it a little bit around whilst we're going. If you haven't yet, come join us on Discord. Good stuff there. Be the first to know most things. And be one of the few people to get everything to work correctly. So that's always good. We're on, 1,200 something members.
I think so.
This is amazing. So thank you everybody for joining. And yeah, let's get on with it. How was your 2 weeks?
Busy, man. It was really, really busy. But not much new happened, to be honest, at all. I did actually on Friday we did one of the quite an epic install, which was Harmony 73 with a pair of 28s on a solid concrete floor. Fuck, does it sound good, man. And I forgot to take pictures, of course, but it looks exactly like in a picture from a B&O catalog.
Finally.
Yeah, very, very cool.
Did you also have the magic power cables?
Nope. Everything was out of the box, and that was that.
So no wireless power?
No wireless power. It worked out. Everything worked out perfect. All was hardwired. And yeah, it sounds great, man. Harmony still sounds great compared to what, the theater can do. Theater can do a lot. I actually tend to watch the movies without 90s being disengaged past 10 o'clock because people fucking knock on doors. It's too much.
It definitely can be too much.
Oh, dude, you turn it on, you can feel the bass. It's insanity. And these walls are paper, so.
Yeah, that's a downside of living in an apartment with 90s.
Yep. But even the 19 in the bedroom with the Avant, and I put the 4 or BeoLab 4s in the back, the surrounds, right? So I have a full surround system in the.
Mm.
We watched a couple of movies. Fucking Netflix, everything's 2.0 PCM. I couldn't change it. So I go to the sound settings on the movie. It doesn't even show up. It just says original, right? Or Spanish, whatever, French, whatever the freaking languages are available for the particular show. So, okay, fuck. I go, maybe that's something in the TV. Go through all the menu. There is no HDMI settings in the Avant that I know of, and I know that TV pretty good, right?
Yeah. I
was actually quite shocked how well ChatGPT actually describes the troubleshooting sequence of both. I asked it, I'm just let's see what the fuck this says. I was very surprised. I was absolutely surprised by how accurately good the troubleshooting skill off of that is. I don't know, it harvests the information, I guess, from the entire earth. So, but I factory reset the goddamn. Okay, so before that, right, I go to Plex.
Yeah.
I watch some movies. I'm like, fuck, it's all in 2.0 PCM as well.
Yeah.
So I go Plex and I watch the movies from my server, right?
Yeah.
Everything's in Dolby. Everything works perfectly. Factory reset the TV, call this. Factory reset the Roku player.
Yeah.
Pull the TV off, checked. I don't know how the USB cable, power cable in there got chewed up. Maybe when I was pushing it in last time, it fucking got ripped. So that's why my Roku randomly was restarting, because it was probably touching something.
Yeah.
So I replaced the cable, booted everything up, reinstalled the Netflix 2.0 PCM, dude. Put it to speaker group, because I made a speaker group for like quadraphonic, just like, I need to figure this out. And then I go on forums, and it's a known problem right now, I guess, with Netflix and Prime and something else that has 2.0 PCM issues on some players, like on Roku specifically as well. And then yesterday night, my girlfriend came over, and we installed Apple TV app, right? Apple TV Plus, whatever you call it, on the Roku, and here on this panel as well. Both apps around perfectly work, no problem.
So it is a codec issue, but it's with how the app treats the player then.
Zigo's asking if there's a minimum room size requirement. You know what? They will fit in any room. It's the neighbors that you got to worry about, bro. Because they know what to sound like in the space they are in because you tune them, right? But it's the fucking people on the other side of that wall that also get to experience the power, but they don't get the mid-range and treble. They just get the bass pushing through their apartment. So, yeah. There is really, like, I think these are in an ideal room. Quite honestly, when I was in Denmark in the Factory 5, like the tour, they were essentially in the same setting like mine, because they are designing this shit for regular living room spaces, right? Yes, there are opulous, huge houses that, you put this in there and, they kind of almost disappear. They look like lap 5s compared to the 90s as the rear channels, I guess. But in most places that we put them into, they're not very, very large homes. There's one that I can remember in Tremblant. That's the one that we had to fix. And it's not in a big room, but it's all open space to above, and it's 3 floors that it's open to. So the bass really disappears, and it's against the glass. So those speakers really do get to work hard for their sound. But in a space setting like mine, like I said, the first time I ran the calibration, it was too much bass. I don't know. The microphone just ran away with it. I don't know why. And but I also didn't have the carpet, which somewhat helped immensely, even on the bass response, and obviously toning down the echo. So, yeah, I think this is more or less the optimal room size for the 90s. Anything bigger, you go bigger, but wider, and keep that isosceles triangle between you and that one chair with no friends, because that's when they sound the best. And especially if you tone them in, like I did, I basically laser align them so the arrow crosses above the head of the Eames chair. And that's where that experience, that's what you pay for with the 90s. Like, that's the accuracy that you can get. It's not just the wide mode, but once you get into the center of the narrow mode in that really sweet spot that is tuned for that, it's a different experience altogether. And that's it's good to sit in the chair. Like,
personally, I wouldn't go much smaller of a room than 4x4 meters. That's kind of, I mean, you can, and it depends on what you want to do with them, but I would, even for the size, the physical size they are, I would almost say, like, have a room that it has some breathing space. Like, it doesn't have to be, I don't know, 5x10 or something, but like, so I don't know what sort of size room you're looking at putting them in. But like, you need, if your room is, let's say, 3x3, right? Like, then your speakers are like literally in the corner and you're sitting against the back wall, which is all less than ideal.
No, the center of the top lens caps, or whatever, the center of the speaker essentially is 3 meters away from the other center of the speaker in this setup. Probably a little more. Yeah, I will check in the app just for shits and gigglies, because I'm curious now. But I am pretty far away between them. I think there are little bit closer together than I had them in my old apartment, but they're not that far apart as they were. How far away from the wall do they need to be set up? I have them about 16 inches off the side wall and about, I think, let's say 6 inches off the back wall. There is in the old Beosystem 3 book, there is a measurement and a formula with the square root of whatever that you put into what number, like into the dimensions, that will tell you how far the speaker should be off each wall. But let me just tell you, how far am I from the speakers?
Technically, you could put them up against the wall without any negative effects, but it's better if you don't have to.
Yeah. So I'm 2.5 meters away from each speaker, as far as the chair is concerned, and these are about 3.5 apart. So it's a little more than I thought for the triangle, but I wanted to have them. I basically spaced them the equidistant from the edge of the theater to the edge of the side wall on each side. So there is a symmetry between it, and the rest is taken care of by the DSP, which does a hell of a good job in doing what it does. To this day, man, they're 10 years old, pulling on a decade, but they sound like the day they don't sound like the day I bought them, because the software that does that shit wasn't available. So they sound like the day they finally enabled the microphone tuning, which made a huge difference.
Was it 2016 or something?
Yeah, it took a little bit, but at least they came out with it, right? They had no choice, in my opinion.
Was it September, October, November, somewhere? They're 10 years old.
Yeah.
No, actually, because these white ones came later. I mean, you've had 90s for a decade, but these white ones are what? You got them.
I was the first one. I was the first one in the world to order the colored speakers. That I waited for them. I got them in March of 2016.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, because you had the black ones before, but they arrived.
The black ones came in December. Yeah, they had a faulty bass driver amplifier. So, and I'm like, you're not opening those.
So you've almost had 90s for 10 years, but not these ones.
No.
What did you have before 90s?
I had a set of lap 5s. Before the 5s, I had the 9s. Before the 9s, I had the 8000s. Before the 8000s, I had a Beosound 2 headphone thing. Because I bought the 8000s with the BeoVision 9. Without my, at the time, wife knowing a fucking thing about what was happening. Which I don't quite recommend, essentially. But if you can get away with begging for forgiveness rather than permission, I think that's a good path. But then again, it's not a sound advice if you know your spouse.
If you're really worried about size in a room, get 50s. If you have the money for 90s, right? Like,
I would get 50s now. And I did have Boss Cubes. That's right. I had the Acoustimus 5 system back in 2001. I bought that with a sharp 5-disc changer and a mini disc player, because I was very heavy into the mini discs, because they were pretty much the best shock protection. You know, whatever they had, like the 40 seconds, right, that you could shake the shit out of it, and it wouldn't stop playing. But before that, I also had the Sony Discman that was like super thin. It was as thin as the case. Like, remember when the Japs were making this shit? Like, it was, the mechanics in these things were superb.
Yeah,
superb. I still have the mini disc player.
Oh,
sometimes I'm tempted just to take the optical and throw them into a converter and plop them into the 90s and listen to my old mini discs, for God's sakes.
All that 90s Japanese stuff is like essentially made to last forever.
Oh, yeah, no, those things were, you know, if you can still get those batteries for it, or you have the DC charger that works with it, like I do, it's awesome. I still want to get like a deck player for mini discs.
I mean, it's crazy, similarly, for how many 90s cars are still around, which is a wear item, essentially, right? Like, especially the Japanese ones are so... they're all still in quite good nick and that sort of thing. I mean, especially around here, there's 90s Hondas everywhere. Like, it's
Yeah,
not
there's
really
also
something
those in Montreal.
but the thing is, right, these are like, yes, they're shit boxes, but they're 30 years old.
Mm-hmm. They
It's
still
it's
run.
yeah, it's crazy. I mean, it's over engineered, like, properly.
By the way, Kareem, I can't believe the guy, man. He fucking sold an atelier theater.
Mm-hmm.
So that's gonna be, I don't know, in 4 or 5 months, I guess, that I'm gonna get to put it together
I
in
hope they're
honeytone.
I hope they're that quick.
And I think that there's a 90% already that was trigger pulled on the pair of Ferrari 50s with a theater
Nice.
going to Toronto somewhere. So yeah, I'm
Of course,
very,
it's going
very
to a
stoked.
politician. God damn it.
I don't think he's a politician at all, but
Oh, sorry, government contractor.
a government contractor. I don't know who's it going to, but I am
Stefan,
dying
I'm
to
looking
go
at
and
you.
see them. I'm dying to see them, honestly, because that aluminium red line. I wonder how they attached it to the grill. Like if it's recessed a little bit, or is it? How do
Elmer's
they
glue.
glue it on? Yeah, I don't know if they would glue it or they just heat ultrasonic weld it on. I don't know. But Zig is
Well,
asking, would you even take just 50s by themselves over the 90s, or would work to combine with something else like my 28s? I don't think I would mix the 28s with the 50s or 90s. They're a completely different sound. Like if I were to mix them, I would keep the 18s as the back speakers, quite honestly, and or 8. But if I were to do it all over again, I would probably just go with two pairs of 50s. For real, like, because the amount that you spend on that compared to having the experience of doubling that, because at the end of the day, yes, I have the best set of speakers in the world, but I can only enjoy maybe 35% of it as far as the volume and power goes, because, well, I used to enjoy it more back in a older apartment, but here now, if I fucking go and above 75, like, that is some serious power in here. And French don't build buildings the way Albertans build buildings, and it's way less soundproofing in here than it was in the apartment that I used to live in, to the detriment of it, I guess.
look, I live. Most of my house is a concrete box, right? And if everything is on, even with a shitty uh, Amazon and Netflix codecs, half my house is still like vibrating.
Oh yeah, no, it's a no joke business, this shit.
And I don't have 90s.
So 90s don't break a sweat.
I mean, would I like 90s? Sure. Are they? They're just so incredibly expensive. I also think it has, like always, it so heavily depends on what you're doing. If you
Hmm.
want to, like because we do it differently, right? Like, you're way more music listening, fuck off to the world. I'm sitting in my one chair. Uh, like, if that's what you're mostly doing, then go for 90s if you can afford them. But I
But
mostly watch films.
I also think that behavior that I have developed stems from the fact that just that accuracy of, because I haven't had 50s, right, other than I listen to them at the people's homes, and sometimes I just, God, what the hell did you do, or who, like, how was this tuned, right? Because sometimes even people get inside those parametric equalizers, and fuck me, man, like, they can really ruin the sound of the speaker. So I've seen that also, but I haven't had a chance to spend, like, a decent amount of time in front of 50s alone, right? In the store, yeah, I listen to them every now and then, but now that the 90s took the place, I don't really care for the 90s because I can listen to them at home. To me, they sound better than on that little wood floor in that room, right?
Yeah, I
So
mean, I've heard 90s that sound very
bad.
iffy.
So yeah, it's just how you tune them and what you do with it. So, but anyways, if I were to live alone somewhere in the woods, and have sustainable power, because you need sustainable power. You need to not bullshit yourself. Like 20 amp circuits would be probably the most optimum and ideal for these speakers. And if you can run 220, then run 220. But in these conditions, I never had issues with it on a 10 amp circuits with 120 volts here in North America.
It's
But if I were to do it, yeah, it's more than enough. Like I've never been able to pop the speakers nor the breakers in my old apartment, and they were all running on one breaker, like the entire load of the system, including the TV and one rear channel 18 was all on the same shit. So it never popped. I never had an issue. But if I were to do it all over again somewhere in a house that I don't bother people, I would do exactly what I have. I would put the 90s in the front, and I would probably get another pair of 18s before they are completely EOL'd, and have them as surround backs, and get maybe 2 pairs of Lab 8s for the surround heights, front and back.
Ed asks, would you combine 50s as front and front speakers with 5s as rears? I haven't heard the 5s in quite a while, but I suspect I potentially would.
They give you a different bass performance too, so because they push it to the floor more than the 50s never push it to the floors. Yeah. Neither the 90s.
Again, 5s, if you're in an apartment, are not really recommended because of where the bass is pushed, unless you're on the ground floor or something like that.
Mm-hmm. Craig, those speakers were the ones, the limited edition gold ones, I guess, right? Apparently that is copper. It's not even fabric, the sails.
It's a type of metal weave, yeah.
Yeah, it's a copper wire, I believe. Which is, yeah, they're insane. Like, you can dress them up no matter how. And
I mean, they're also almost 2x the price. They're like $250,000 or something like that. And the aluminium slats are like handcrafted wood in like this.
Yeah, it's walnut that is joined by those gold-plated X's. It doesn't have. They're a special set of speakers. They sound the same as mine. I guarantee you that. Yeah. But they look balls to the wall awesome compared to mine. But I like mine because those would be too much. I like the picture with the harmony with the crazy grill that they've made for it. That kind of matches. So not kind of. It matches exactly the language of the speaker, the sound wave of the crowns, I guess. So, but I send you a little email picture.
Okay. I'm just putting this. I just still have this up for Ziga. If you're questioning your purchase, these two sides are the same price essentially. You can get 90s, or you can get 2 pairs of 50s, a set of 28s, a set of 8s, an A5, and a theater.
I would toss the 28s, get another pair of get 2 pairs of 8s, and I would toss the A5 and replace it with the Halo and the Gateway. And I think you're still floating within the same price.
No, you're cheaper off.
Well, you still got to get a panel too, right?
Yeah. But
maybe a floor stand.
Yeah. So the difference between 8s and 28s is roughly a panel and a floor stand. So yeah, that should work.
Sick.
So yeah, it depends on what you do. Yeah, I'm definitely on the left side. I mean, I have 450s. I used to have 28s, but I don't. But I have 8s, and I have a theater, and I have an A5.
I definitely nowadays I would cross over to the left side, but coming from the right side when the speakers were,
70 grand, not even
half the price.
Look, in the UK when they first started, I think they were 58 or something.
Yeah, they were still money.
Pounds, I mean. Like new, no discount, so it's like, whew.
And now it's like, whew.
Yeah. Well, I feel dumb at the time for not buying them, but I also somewhere have a a calm about it, knowing I would have always had to move them across a fucking ocean.
Yeah.
And seeing how my 50s got delivered here, I'm not that.
They wouldn't be able to put them on the side because of the forklift fits underneath it, so they would have to stand them upright. And I would cover these like a fucking like the spots on the mushroom with the tilt sensors on each side of the speaker,
Yeah.
and put a top coat on and do not load on top.
Well, the other thing is, right, my second set of 50s was delivered and put in front of my house, and they just rang the bell and left.
Fuck me.
Like, I didn't even catch them. Like, they were gone already.
Wow.
So,
Well,
like, if those were
worried about
90s, right, like, I would have been so fucked because, like, there's no way I could have, like, dragged them in. Like, it would be too heavy for just me.
No, you'd be ringing your fucking neighbors, hoping to God that they're able.
Yeah. Like, it literally was in front of my garage door. Like, good luck, bye.
Enjoy them.
It's like, fucking hell. So yeah, yeah. Eric asks, will there be an update to the 18 or something in between 8 and 28s? I could see something sit between 8 and 28s, but I don't think the 18 is very updatable, other than attaching the new BeoConnect core to it.
If they put a Mozart in it, I don't think that they're going to retain the same shape. It's going to have way less aluminium on it.
Yeah.
Due to the RF blocking. So.
Meaning,
Yeah,
by the time they do that,
something.
it's also going to be, they're going to be what, 2-3 grand more, right?
Mm-hmm.
And at that point, do you still want them over 28s or 8s? Personally, I'm really impressed with the 8s.
Yes.
And then there's the other thing, right? Like, there's so many 18s, especially in Europe, that are just available in the secondhand market.
Mm-hmm.
That if you're on somewhat of a budget, then it kind of makes no sense to go new if you want that shape.
That's exactly it.
I mean,
and they will sound better with the new core or on a, the theater per se. They sound much better than they ever sounded on their own. But that's about it.
Let's see. What do 18s go for in the Netherlands these days? Oh, there are some 90s for sale in the Netherlands. So a set of 18s and a 19 for 6,250 euro asking. X demo 18s 6.5.
So yeah, they're still pretty good price.
Yeah, but like when new is like 13 or 12 or whatever it is now, like
that's what I'm saying. It's a good price to get them. And even if anything that would really go in them is the DSP engine, which is not that expensive and not that hard to replace per se.
Yeah. David asked me, does the BeoConnect core add Mozart function to 18s? And is it then touch to connect via touch?
Yeah, you can touch to connect via the app because you can just join them because core is available as a joinable product and they just play. They will always show up
old
as
core did that as
silver
well.
oak. Yeah, they'll always show up as silver oak on your app, even though you have them in whatever color set in your app. Well, you don't really set them in your app. It's 28s also do the same thing. 19 always shows up silver. You can't change it. So, but yeah, they show up and you can use them as a separate zone. I would recommend having like a Beo Remote 1 or even if you can get it on a secondhand market is the Beosound Essence Remote. Those things are awesome still.
Yeah. I mean, if you have a Halo, you can also join it to the Halo, obviously.
Yeah.
Stuff like that. So yeah, it and they sound way better.
Yeah, I wish that they made the Halo a little more less cumbersome when it comes to joining other products, because you have to go to that product on the page and then click the link, then go back out, go to another one, click that chain link, and that's how they join together. So it's
Yeah, it should have just been like a screen where like either you tap it and a like
it
check
just gives you a
mark
check mark.
or
Yeah, exactly.
cross or
I think there should be able an ability to display your zones in product icons, because they already have all the PNGs anyways in the marketing department. So
yeah.
I don't think that would be a bad idea to have that, so you can just click, 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 and then it goes from gray to yellow, like on the other, like on your app. So there's that correlation. I think that would make the usability of the the Halo remote even better.
Like I
But
said, was it 2 weeks ago? I would love it if you can like a song on Deezer,
yes,
which is
there should be a
impossible.
possibility.
Like you get all
Man,
the
I went back.
metadata, but you can't do anything about it. Then you have to pull out your phone still to like the song. I actually found uh, a bug in the app in that if Deezer Flow starts and Flow starts on a pre-loved song,
Hmm.
every time you open the app again and to see, hey, what song is this? Right? It says it's like hearted, even when it isn't. So yesterday I heard a few songs that were like, oh yeah, I think, do I have these in my playlist because I like this song? You look, oh, it's hearted. It's probably good. And then like you
And
close
it's
out.
not. Yeah,
Yeah, it's just not. It's just like it says it is, but it's not.
there's gonna be an update for the theater coming out, and also like not theater for the Mozart. I'm on I think second batch of it right now, testing the multi-room capability, because there was some issues with it, and I had experienced it before the beta update was released, that especially like streaming YouTube audio into the level and my hallway, which is
The
the
moments.
emerge. No, no, no. The moment is just an IR receiver. It doesn't have anything to do with anything. But there's an emerge. They're both Mozart, and they had issues dropping out. And then I joined the Avant, and it had the same problem. So it was caused by the Mozart pushing audio out, and it was the same issue I had with I had to reboot, and then it fixes it for a while. But so far, yesterday I was doing the cleaning, so I had the entire house going. Even for the sake of testing it all, I've had it going for at least 4 or 5 hours solid, just radio playing from the theater. Not a single drop, not a hiccup. Perfect. So very happy with that. So they're doing some good progress with it.
Yeah.
But
Craig said, when I attended customer focus group in the store, the team mentioned that the group or the store that sells most BeoLab 90s globally is Harrods. Yeah, not surprised. It's
yeah,
it's it's kind of the store where either people gaze or some people walk in and go, give me that,
yeah, they don't care.
and send me the bill at some point. I mean, it's
So
I I always like think back to that documentary about Michael Jackson, I think it was, and he was either in Harrods or something, and he was shopping, and he's like,
mhm.
"Oh, what is that vase?" And the guy goes, "Sir, that's from the whatever dynasty in China. It's about $5 million. Oh, get me two." And
Get me to
yeah, he was literally walking through the store
zero.
like, "I want that. I want that. Give me two of those. What's in the other floor?" Oh, I'll have some of those too. Yes, thanks. like,
Yeah, that's insane.
like in
I've
like
had
30 minutes
ex-
walking through a shop like this, he spent like $20-30 million.
there are few and far in between clients like that in B&O as well, that they just come in and they buy the shit like groceries, which is pretty cool.
Yeah.
But
I mean, God, some of the oil states, right? Like, I've been like sort of looking and asking some people, and somebody said like that one of these ultra rich oil families was sort of like, you know what? My daughter likes this one meal from this restaurant in Italy, so we flew the chef over.
why not?
It's like, how much did that cost you? Yeah, like I don't know, 500,000 euros, something like that. It's fine. It's like, the hell, man.
It's a different planet, dude.
Yeah.
It's a different planet.
I mean, similarly, right? Like the people that aren't even in the extreme of the world, but are very well, like soccer, football players, right? In Europe, like the
Mhm.
Manchester Cities, United, and that sort of thing. Like some of these fuckers make like 200 grand a week.
That's insane. Like the shit that you never be able to spend on if you wanted to.
Yeah, but that comes out to like 30, 40 million a year, right? Like, and there
Yeah,
are a lot of people that make more than that.
just crazy.
I mean, the people that run the world banks make more than that.
I'm sure.
And they do it for longer.
Way longer.
Yeah. I mean, you're not like, oh, my shoulder, I can't sign anymore. As coach sub me for the CEO role. Like, there's none of that shit, right?
No, no. But then again, I guess that's the people. I guess that B&O's aiming for the market with I guess the new turntable.
Yeah, I mean, I forget who did. I think it was some sort of TED talk, but was it somebody did like this math thing for like, at what point would you bend over to pick up like a coin of money, right? Like what, a nickel or something?
Hmm.
If you were to average that versus like the wealth of Bill Gates versus your income, it would be for Bill Gates to, if the same logic applied, right, of like value for like the bending over, it would be something like 15 grand just laying there.
Fuck. Oh, okay, I'll take that.
Oh, like a stack of hundreds. Oh, I'll get that.
It's my ice cream
But if it's
money.
like a little stack of hundreds, it's sort of like, yeah, it's too much effort. I can do something else and make more.
Ah, that's crazy.
I mean,
Uh,
holy moly.
but that's the, I guess, the income groups, like I said, that B&O's trying to aim with. Even the now, what is it, 37,000 euros? The turntable is the sale
Yeah.
around.
Uh, let me.
I don't know. I wonder how much that wood is actually valued at, because I know like the rosewood on the 90s. That's a very expensive wood because I think now it's almost illegal to harvest, or it's like sustainably grown or whatever. Because I know even from the Herman Miller side, that like the Eames and rosewood or Santos palisander, which they had replaced it with, is about 40%, 30% more on cost. So that would, I guess, would increase some worth and value on it. But I guess it's the same as the 4000C, right? Just the redone guts, anodized a little bit differently, dressed in a different wood frame and
Different color.
different color, probably
Like
engravings.
smoked,
Hmm.
whatever you call it, dust cover. I like that they anodized this control panel black, personally, or
Yeah,
anthracite or
me too.
whatever.
Yeah, I like that. I like the tone arms that are anodized as well because they used to be silver, right?
Yeah.
In in the previous ones. So yeah, there's been some work done on it, definitely.
I keep on tripping up personally over the fact that the 4000C was quote unquote limited, right? And then they
Hmm.
did an extra for charity or whatever.
But it was only two.
Yeah, but even then,
I know.
I was like, well, what the hell is the point of limited, right? Like, it's not no longer one of 100 if there's two extra.
That's right. Now there's 10 more.
Yeah, exactly, right. So, I mean, and I guess you can technically say like, oh, this is a different one, but if the internals and everything else is the same, is how is this not one with a different logo on it?
I don't understand why B&O just doesn't bite the bullet and make a turntable and produce it. Like they have the capability to machine all of these parts on their own. I'm certain of it.
If you want to be
I'm
in this
certain of
price
it.
bracket, there is no reason why you cannot, with some R
Make your
and
own.
D, yeah, and even if it comes in as cheap, right, as 10 grand, like you sell that for what, 15, 20, and people apparently will
Probably
buy
more than
it.
that. People would buy it for 30K, man. If there was a brand new turntable, people would still buy it even for 30K. Like some of the turntables that Quebecson sells, it's just like I'm fucking stunned for how much people are willing to pay for having a crackling, popping record playing, right? And all the preamps and stuff that goes into it, and blah blah blah. Like if you have something like this that you can just hook up to a Mozart and pump directly into the 50s, fuck, you know. I just wish that if they do, maybe that's the 100th anniversary product that they're going to announce, a fucking turntable finally, which would be great, and something that maybe put a Mozart chip in it so it directly just pumps out either USB-C audio or whatever, or balanced analog out. Have it controllable so you can move the needle every 5 mils like on the olden systems with the skip button. That would be cool. It's already automated anyways.
Or BeoLink rounded straight to your 28, 8, whatever.
Yeah, the digital power link. Fuck.
I mean, that would
There's
be
enough wood around to put the antennas around it.
That would also be like literally a fuck you to every other record manufacturer, right? Like in our ecosystem, we can literally have lossless audio to speakers without wires.
Yes.
I mean, there's no reason they couldn't. I wish they would, especially if you want to sell at this price anyway. I think most people that want a record player are asking for it to be sub 5,000. Which I understand, but they're probably never going to do that anymore. And I wouldn't even blame them if they made something that is 10K or more.
No, not at these prices nowadays. I think you can't have a turntable that is cheaper than a set of speakers like Lab 8 per se, right? Like you can't go. The turntable has to be at least $25,000 if they're going to come up with something that is relevant to them cost-wise and production-wise to justify it all, right?
Yeah.
And then go stupid with it and put it as an atelier product as well, and then tack another 40% on top of it for a different color or wood. Get yourself an orange ass turntable. Let's see.
I mean, by comparison now, the 4000C was really cheap.
Yeah, and we cried about that. God is. We cried about the freaking Berluti as well, and now the regular speakers are basically the price of that.
Yeah.
So...
I mean, this is what, 27 grand or something?
I think so. I think it's 35,000 US. Whatever it is, I honestly, it'll sell. There are people with a copious amount of money that just don't care, and there's a lot of people that I can see justifiably buying it because I'm a collector of B&O. I have shit ton of money, and I want to have a fucking turntable. Take this Vertera out of here. I'm gonna buy the Beogram.
Yeah.
That connects to my entire ecosystem. Like if that was the case, man, if they put a Mozart chip in it, I think that would be an amazing moneymaker for them. Because I don't think they would sell a little of them.
No.
People would buy this. People would freaking buy this for sure.
I mean, if you wanted to, you could also limit it to like you only make like 200 a year. Get on the list.
Yeah. But keep making them, keep them in production. Yeah. And I think, then you can even go, like I said, with the atelier stuff where you can make it whatever color people want it. And I don't know. I think it's a great idea.
The price, I don't think, was ever mentioned on the webpage. It wasn't ever sold as such. It was only to preferred customers through dealers.
Yeah.
For 4000C. I mean, I'm pretty sure if I wanted one, I could buy one from some people I know, but I don't want to spend that much on a record player, even though I like it a lot.
It's available exclusively at Saint Laurent, Rive, Droite, Paris, and Los Angeles, and on ysl.com. Those are the 3 places you can buy this thing.
Yeah, I think they sold 80% of them, like without even putting the press notice out.
Created with a handcrafted Zero-Code wood frame and a brushed natural aluminum top plate, each piece is meticulously crafted by artisans in Struer, limited to just 10 engraved and numbered editions. From the delicate wood grain of the wood to precise engineering of the tangential arm, every element is designed with attention to detail. This collector's piece seamlessly blends heritage, technical mastery, and contemporary design into a limited edition creation for discerning audiophiles and collectors alike. And that, like, in the box, it looks fucking cool, man.
Yeah,
I
also you
really
can, I
like
don't
it.
know if you can tell on the YouTube side, but all this aluminium is like properly brushed sideways, which is slightly different from the norm, I think.
Hmm.
And it does seem like the wood is lacquered.
It's, obviously it reflects the cost, but I also think it's just the uniqueness of it. And quite honestly, it's a collector's piece, right? It's not a regular
Yeah.
product. It's the same like the 9000C that came out, with the 28s, and there was only so many that were made. I get it. And you know what? If I won 649 lotto with $40 million, I would get me the fucking 9000 with the 28s just for the shits and giggles, and I would buy that goofy ass turntable to go with it.
David says it was nibbled from a single tree by trained artisanal squirrels.
That's right. Free range too. They were free range, bro. None of this cage stuff. So yeah, those trees were brought down by imported Canadian beavers to preserve the natural flavor of the wood. But I wonder what the record is that they're playing.
I mean, I wouldn't even be upset if BNO partnered up with like one of the current high-end record player producers, right, and made their own version that way.
Yeah,
I mean, if the tooling and stuff is too prohibitive, like just go the other way. I mean,
I
you
think the
you
only
go to
prohibitive thing would
ScanSpeak and
do.
say, "I want your driver slightly different," and they still oblige. So what's the problem?
I think that the only thing that is really, really tool specific for them is the actual manufacturing of the needle or pickup, right? Because
Oh,
I'm
that's
certain
all
they do not have
soundsmith.
they do not have the tools for that. But then, yeah, then Soundsmiths would be swamped to provide, let's say, like we said, 200 needles per year, right? Which is quite a bit.
I'm pretty sure.
And
I'm 99% sure that all these styluses are from Soundsmith now.
I think so. But I think they should consider a Mozart Beogram or Mozart driven Beogram.
That's God. That's another thing, right? I forgot to. It's still in the kitchen somewhere. When I was at that audio show, was it 2 weeks ago?
Hmm.
There were record players everywhere, and we took home a magazine, and you can look at like this was the plural styli, the needles
Yeah,
for record players. Uh, a cheap one is
it's
apparently
2 grand.
€1,500 or $1,500. Uh, the gold one, and which isn't even that expensive apparently, it's like 20 grand just for the needle, right?
That's what I'm saying. Like when you start floating in that universe of chasing the proper pickups, like the money is unbelievable compared to what the record is spinning on top of.
Yeah. I mean, there
So,
was like a DS Audio Gold, whatever. It was like $23,000 ex sales tax.
call this, man.
And you don't even get an arm with that. It's just literally the cartridge. It's like, cool. You don't even have a preamp with that, right? Like it's
Just
just
holding it like,
literally this little bit here.
oh my god, yeah. But people pay for that. People are. That's just what it is.
So yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, if you want to go to ultra high net worth individuals, like surely there is reason to think there's margin in all this stuff.
Hmm. Recreated. What is it? Recreated bespoke edition.
Yeah.
What it says. It's cool. I like it. Like I said, I would never own a turntable, but I think that B&O has such a market for it that they should completely wake up from the dormant sleep of ignorance and build something, not in limited edition, but put something in the production line, work on it. You know what? I hope that's the cat under the in the bag for now. That you come out with the 100th anniversary turntable or something that is Mozart platform driven. That would be sickening.
Yeah, I want this box.
You know, and you would probably be, if not the first person or first company that developed a turntable with a network connection to it,
Mhm.
and that's all you would need
Yeah.
to play to the speakers. Yeah, I would still put the pre-outs and blah 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 on it, but yeah, man, I would make it a smart turntable
I
with a
almost want
Mozart
to
in it.
just have the ability to buy just the box, because this box is really fucking nice.
The box is awesome.
Like that box is a piece of fucking art.
It should be a humidor or convertible into a humidor, in my opinion. That would be cool.
Yeah.
That would be super cool.
Who was it on the Discord that made one of these boxes for a dealer?
No idea. Really? Somebody actually did that?
Yeah, and it looked 99.5% at least identical. Like it had the
No
whole top
shit.
plate. Maybe we can put in a request for a humidor build.
I would totally go for that, dude. In walnut.
Yeah, I'd go for oak.
Yeah, I'd go for one. I wouldn't go for this crazy wood because it's too rich of a texture for me. It's too busy.
Well, it works with my current Beogram that doesn't really work here. Because my Beogram 2000 is also rosewood.
Mm.
I'm so bummed about it because it's like in immaculate condition essentially, except that like with this 50-60 hertz difference, it's just too fast here. Like even if you like it, the motor is so old, right? It's still sensitive to the 50 hertz or 60 hertz difference. So if you go from 110 upscale it to 20
And
to
can you
30,
not replace the power supply?
yeah, they never made a US version.
Oh. What if you ran it through a UPS?
I guess I can see if I can find one of those. I mean, the best solution so far is you get a wall plug that goes from wall power to 12 volts DC, and then get a car transformer from Europe that goes from 12 volt DC to 230 50 hertz again.
Jesus.
And you literally connect them with those like cigarette plug connectors, right?
Yeah. Well, that's ghetto fabulous by now.
Yeah. And to me, that screams fire hazard.
Oh, dude. Yeah, that's not how you want to listen to your vinyl, fudge.
I mean, fire in the car is like sort of like, well, my car's outside, so that's okay. But like fire right next to the 50s, like, yeah.
That's not having that. We're not having that. But yeah, the box is immaculate. I like that. So you can't really play the turntable out of that box or in the box, right?
No.
It's just for transport.
Yeah. And that's why it's almost a shame this box is so nice. Like if anybody buys one of these and figures out they have nothing, no purpose for the box, let me know. Email me.
Yeah, I'd love to convert that to a humidor. That would look so good. You can probably put like 40 cigars in it.
More.
You just need to line it. Well, you need to line it with cedar, right? From the inside, and seal it somehow, because those two slats of how it opens, it would have to be sealed better than it is now.
Yeah, but from left to right, this box is like 60 centimeters wide.
No, then you probably can stick like 80 sticks in there for sure.
Like a 4000 record player is like this wide.
Yeah, fair enough.
So the box has to be wider than that. It's like, I mean, you can probably, even if you convert it, you can probably fit a 200 to 300 sticks in there.
No, I don't think that many. I think 120 would be the tops that I would put in there, because you don't want to have them crammed. 120 sticks. Let's run a poll. How many people think how many cigars we can put into this? Let's do 80, 100, and 120, and then ridiculous amount based on your guessage.
I'm polling.
So yeah, let's see what people think. But yeah, I would definitely make this a humidor. Because these two tops open like a, what's it called? Like they're two L's, right? So you can grab that thing. I really like the detail. Like they're really nicely made. So I'm going with, I'm gonna say. Let's see how many cigars.
70% of people, by the way, say the B&O should make a new record player.
Yeah, I agree.
B&O, do it. Please do it.
It should be out.
I mean, you'll probably disappoint a lot of people with the price, but at this point, like, who cares? You're selling like old gear for
3 times the money it came out for.
no, because like the original 4000 or 4002, right, back in the day, sold for £225.
Oh wow!
Like, but we're talking late 70s, so adjusted for inflation, it's what, like $2,000?
Yeah,
But you're selling it for like 10x that.
but it's reimagined.
Yeah, but what's reimagined about it?
The new colors, anodizing, finish, new needle or stylus pickup, whatever. It's all reimagined new, bro. Is it worth it? Not to me. Like I said, we're on 336th podcast, and I'm sure I've mentioned it at least 100 times since we started doing this podcast that I don't care for the vinyl, but I'm all for it for B&O to make a turntable because I think the market, not because I don't need it, I think the market needs it, and there's a lot of people that would buy it. And if they made a smart one, I think that would be the best thing they could make, because then they're also, again, not like no one else, because nobody else does the, let's say a smart turntable with a Mozart platform in it built in, and be able to stream into the speakers directly via digital power link built inside the the only thing I guess with the digital power link, you're running the risk of how do you control the volume. I guess you would have to do it on the speaker, right?
Yeah, or surely you can make something touch sensitive somewhere.
Yeah. Well, I think, in my opinion, if it's doing the Mozart, I would expect to have it glass interface like the BeoLab 8s have. Just replace that whole black anodizing panel with a backlit glass that has buttons on it, and it still gives you, also that BeoCenter 9000 feel from back in the yesteryears with the touch glass. So, no, I'm all for it. Like I said, it's not the market for me. I'll never be in the market for that because I'd rather consume my music and through Deezer. And I gotta say, I haven't been more happier than since I basically moved away back from Tidal.
Yeah, or work with these guys that I showed off.
Oh, these are cool.
Weeks
ago.
Yeah,
these are cool.
Like these sell for €2,200, but like surely you can do something with them that you BeoLink it or whatever. Like the most of the idea is already there that you can sell it for 5x.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's a very interesting turntable. Very, very interesting.
I mean, also
we looked at it a while back, right?
Yeah, like also that it's a radial arm underneath. Like
that's cool that you started like that. Hey, Steve.
In many ways, this is very B&O inspired.
Oh, 100%.
Like, grew up with these people.
I like it. It's not that I prefer Deezer over Tidal. Quite honestly, yes, there is a difference, I guess. In not the way I listen to music now, I really don't care for it. But the problem with Tidal is that there is no button for it, the bloody thing, on any of my remote controls. I can only trigger it from the app. It's still cumbersome a little bit to work with. So I go with Deezer, and I put the Deezer flow into one of my buttons where I can't do anything like that with Tidal. The only thing you can do is put a playlist in there, so it always starts from the same song. So those are my annoyances with it. It's not the fact that you know what, there's a fine line between sound quality and bullshit to put up with to get that sound quality. So I've reached a point where to me it's not worth of being in the Tidal side of things, where every time I want to listen to some music, it's a pain in the dick. I've listened to the CD player more than I've listened to the Tidal because it's just too much to deal with, and you put the phone down somewhere or whatever. I don't like it. I just didn't like it. And it's also not a source that is on the Halo, so I can't really utilize it at all. And Deezer is. So that is the only reason why I moved over. I'm still paying Deezer Premium. To me, it's the same. When I listen in bed, for God's sakes, playing it off the 13-year-old Avant now, I really could care less if it's Tidal or Deezer. And the only way that I can get Tidal working is because I'm in a beta, and on my Beosound 2, it's a source that it's in the software. However, it's still not triggerable by any remote control, so it's just all app dependent. So that is why.
This
I
on the
hope that
right is
satisfied
one
the
of our
answer.
Discord members, Dave.
Right on.
See, he has the wheel. He has a 4000. He has, I forget what this is, Marantz or something, a Halo.
So yeah, Tidal Connect is also the same, I guess. If you do it with Deezer app, right? Like Tidal Connect is Tidal Connect, but you're still using your device to operate the music, which that's where we differ. I don't like when I've had enough of this goddamn thing in my hands the entire day, because I hold it in my hands to set up people's systems, and I'm on this app a lot. And when I get home, is the last thing, unfortunately to say, the last thing I want to see is the fucking BNO app. I just want to turn shit on and have my BNO work the way I used to have it work, and I'm used to that, how it
Yeah.
used to work.
I don't use the BNO app that much because I don't like install BNO, but I'm on my phone so much that like when I want to do other stuff, like I get like finger cramps of like holding your phone the whole day. So it's like I just want to lay it down and not touch it. Like I don't want to go through my music like this because like I tend to hold it like this, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it's like at the end of the day, I just want the remote. It's because it's like fuck my hands, man.
So yeah, that's the only, like, those are the, I guess, my arguments to it. There's no, it's not an issue of sound quality at all. And quite honestly, there's a marginal difference when I was listening to some stuff through the 90s on Tidal versus Deezer, and is that worth the magic versus the hassle? Absolutely not for me. So that's, and all the people that are on the ASC platform are suffering more or less the same with it. So I just stuck back to Deezer. My entire library is back because I didn't really like delete the account. I just, excuse me, stopped paying for a while and just ventured off to Tidal. But it's no, I'm back to Deezer. Yeah, that turntable is nice. I like it. And it's not that outrageous still. It's $4,000, but it's not outrageous.
I mean,
Sold out.
supposedly it's not the absolute best sounding for the price, but like, okay, in terms of a design aesthetic, it's fucking gorgeous. Like,
Mm-hmm.
also, who else has a circular turntable?
Not many.
Like,
No love for Spotify. No, not at all, my friend. The only problem that I have with Spotify, that if, let's say, my girlfriend, there was an issue, and it still is, that if you connect Spotify Connect and you press play, it plays from whoever was the account that was last linked into here.
yeah,
Inadvertently, they can also press play and start playing into your system while you're not home, which had happened to me a few times. So that's why I honestly wish there was a way to disable Spotify Connect or purge the people that were in your system per se, because that's one thing that I really have an issue with Spotify Connect when it comes to the way it connects to the B&O product and how long it lasts connected. So that's my take on Spotify.
Yeah, plus it's MP3 quality, right? Like,
And that's another thing, we're
I mean, I don't
back
hate
to
it for like it's fine if you mostly use it in a car or whatever, because like most car
you'll
audio
never
systems,
tell,
yeah, there's also way too much background noise for anybody to really care.
especially when you get winter tires with spikes on them. Oh yeah, that takes care of all the clarity that you needed to. So yeah, that's yeah. The only thing that I would have a concern with is like, you obviously have to have a quite a bit of a distance away from the source of music that is being played from this, because it would vibrate just by default, I think.
Well, I mean, I don't think. Put it this. What I commonly see people with record players do, to me, is unfathomable, especially when they have a record player on a piece of furniture with bookshelves on the same piece. It's like, why would you ever do that?
Yeah.
Because that's just vibration through touch, right? Like, I would understand it a bit more if it's close to, but separate or on the floor or floor standers or something like that. Because like to get this to vibrate through air pressure is you're listening at serious volumes at that point.
Yeah.
So yeah, so I would be less worried about that if it's on different pieces of furniture. I don't think I would ever recommend putting a record player next to speakers on the same thing touching.
No. That's I'm always against that. But there are installations that I had seen personally, and it just happens.
I mean, I must say, at that audio show I was at 2 weeks ago, a lot of the records were obviously professionally cleaned, or these cleaning machines and that sort of thing.
Mm.
And there were actually no crackles and pops at all. Like, it is possible.
Mm-hmm. Of course it is.
But then, I mean, this is where the hobby comes in, right? Because it gets progressively more insane. Because
Well,
like,
it's just a rabbit hole that doesn't end, man. You know what I mean? It never ends. Like you can go further and further and further. That's it. It's funny, you get more viewers. I guess a lot more people realize that the time has changed today.
yeah. Plus, we were also not here last week. Sorry about that.
Yeah.
I had to be places.
Do things.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I honestly still think that B&O should make the new turntable. Let's see how many cigars. Let's see what the opinions are. There's 24 votes. A ridiculous amount. 70% says that. Oh boy. I still stick with 120. I don't think you would fit more than that. But yeah, somebody should make. There are people that have wood crafting abilities on this channel, so if you can make one, I would definitely buy one of those in walnut. Looks sick.
Let's see. Who was it? Because it's here somewhere.
You got my email with those little pens?
I haven't checked yet. 2 seconds. Wait. Sometimes Discord changes how it searches for things, and it's really strange.
Found it?
No, of course not.
How long ago? It's been a while.
Like a week or two.
Oh, in Beogram?
No, I think it was for. Anyway, I'll go to your email. Um, do, do, do. Oh, this is an actual thing they're gonna.
Mm-hmm. It's a retailer pack.
I would love to have some of these pens.
Mm-hmm.
That is cool. It's kind of pointless, but it's really cool.
Fucking rights, man. They look like 18s. They are mini 18s. So, we are pleased to inform you that we have developed an outstanding anodized aluminium in silver, gold, and anthracite version, carefully designed with our creative and mechanical engineering team in Factory 4 Struer. As a part of Retailer Pack 2425, you will receive units by end of May of 2025. We also offer you the possibility of ordering additional pieces on top of the mandatory units. So I'm gonna buy all 3 colors because, come on.
Yeah, why not?
And
yeah, order me
I'm
some,
gonna
please.
buy an extra. So yeah, if anybody's interested, email me. I'll talk to Kareem and see if we can order some. I don't know how much they are, so don't ask yet. But it's yeah, they look like pencils, but that's the whole design of. If you look at the BeoLab 18s, they look exactly like it, but they just took off the wood covers and made them slats. Looks
But
very sick.
somebody at B&O is going to ask, like, wait, are we like now primary sales people for pens?
I think it's nice that they have something to give away. You know, like if you're gonna buy a set of 90s, like that's a nice pen to keep to sign the deal with.
Yeah, absolutely.
So to me, that's how I would look at it. But I would buy it. Do they come with wood covers? No, they don't. But they look sweet. I like it.
I don't
Especially the
understand why,
B&O
like,
logo on it on top and everything. Cool.
I don't understand why B&O doesn't have more trinkets all the time.
I think that like the yesteryears of swagger, man, was so much. You know, the hats. Why not make some B&O hats and pile of other things? But these are cool. I like them. That's a very nice idea. I've been longing for a B&O pen finally, because they haven't done one since maybe 10 years ago that I've looked on ROS. That was they still make B&O hats. I'm gonna check on ROS, but I'd never seen the hats on our side in US, so that might differ by regions. But I don't think we're able
I think
to.
that a Danish shop has them. What's it called? Bremdal Radio or whatever it's
These
called.
these should definitely have a part number in the B&O catalog, in my opinion, because these I definitely would order some more of those cups. But yeah, I think that there's going to be, at least now that people know, you've seen it on the podcast. I think I just want to boost the interest because I want people to have these, because these are going to be cool as fuck and collectible. I kind of wonder how they work, like click clack, like does the lens go in and out? Maybe that's the foreshadowing to the new BeoLab 18, BeoLab 38.
Yeah. Let's see, Mr. I think it's Mr., but it could be Mrs. MKL.
I don't think you're far off. 300 each would be probably the B&O price. I don't know how much they would be.
Canadian?
But,
That's easy money, right? What, like 80 rupees?
80 rupees. Like, by the time we get them, yeah, our money is worth a piss. But call this. Yeah, I think that'd be fun to have.
So this is not the original. This is a recreation.
Oh, that's the recreation cabinet. Okay, this one. Yeah. That's not a humidor, but I understand.
No, but if you
Still
can build this
freaking cool.
cabinet, I'm pretty sure we can ask Mr. or Mrs. MKL to build us a humidor.
Yeah, dude. This is so cool. I would even take one of those like a humidor. You know what I mean? Or
Yeah.
put my humidors in it. Looks very nice. Very, very nice. But I think I would put, instead of banging Olufsen in the center, I would have it engraved as B and O. You know what I mean? The logo that centers in around, and then the half moon on one side with the sticks or lines or whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
But yeah.
So this is, I think he made this for a dealer or something from memory.
Mm-hmm. Oh, also, since we're talking cabinets and core, this kind of struck me. If you just for the shits and giggles install a B&O app on an LG panel with the core connected to it, the new BeoConnect core,
Yeah.
you will have to factory reset your TV,
Yes, absolutely.
which is odd. I don't know why it just doesn't work.
No, it changes the firmware of the TV and how the remotes are controls are handled.
Yes, and it doesn't work anymore.
So, yeah, I found this out years ago with the stage because I was testing that. Oh, yeah, sad news. Hall Audio went out of business, it seems.
Yeah, that sucks. I saw that on Discord. Too bad.
Yeah. Because that Masterlink program they were working on with Poly PV is amazing. He's still around, fortunately, so we'll see where that goes. I want to help him out make that thing come to market.
Yeah, because that idea was great.
Yeah,
It was way too late, in my opinion, but again, the tech and how small it got and what you need to do in resource to get it working became available way too late for how relevant these Masterlink products are. I'm sure it still will help in some cases, but it's a very limited market now.
Well, I'm not sure. I also think it's a lack of exposure, right?
Yeah.
Because the people that have Masterlink kind of stop thinking about it because you can't, like, you're at a hard lock with all the new stuff. So if it's not broke, like, I'm not thinking about it anymore because why? Then there's probably also the dealers that have no clue that this is around. So because I bet you half of these sales will come from dealers saying like, "Ooh, I've heard about this thing. Do you mind if we try XYZ?" Z now.
Yeah, you're Z and you're ZZ Top, bro. Not a ZZ Top. Man, don't disturb mode here. Something's ticking. So yeah, fun times.
So yeah, I was kind of sad to hear that whole audio is.
Yeah,
I don't know if they went out of business or if they closed their doors or like just the website says that they're shut. So I don't know what happened exactly.
didn't they still have some inventory that they were pushing through?
I don't know. If you go to their website, it just says, "Thank you for all your support over the years."
That's that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. It's sad that they went, but it's, I guess it is what it is nowadays.
I mean, it's also partially why I'm so adamant in supporting third party around B&O. If you make something for B&O, right, like or B&O related, please let us know. We're happy to like promote and showcase and that sort of thing.
Any news on the Tegrino with their silver covers or aluminum grills for the theater?
Other than that, they're looking into it.
Far?
No.
Okay.
I mean, I guess you can give them money for a prototype. I'm sure they're open to that.
I mean, well, I guess they just need to replicate those lamellas. That's it, or one of them times 74.
Yeah, but I think the real problem is you have to replicate the plastic backing it sits on.
Yeah, I guess you can't buy that from B&O.
I doubt it. Or if you're doing it, like, which one are you buying? And then are you just ripping off the fabric? or the
No, the
wood.
fabric grills are different. The fabric grills don't have the same pattern in them.
Yeah, then are you getting an oak one or the cheapest wood one and just ripping it all off? Like, I doubt that somehow.
At least on one, they would do that and reverse engineer the pattern of the grill.
Yeah.
Because that, if they make that full of metal, my only worry is that if you start pulling it off, it would start bending and deforming, right? Where you lose that flexibility that it naturally has with the plastic when you're pushing it into the grommets.
Yeah, exactly.
Where the BeoLab 8s is more or less like a helmet shield, right? It's fucking solid.
Though,
so it's going to be very interesting to see that.
I have seen some other metal front bespoke ideas, and they did seem to be all metal. And it is possible, if you're as exquisite as like sort of latticing metal like B&O is, where you can keep it flexible, but so it bends like this, but not that way. So I've seen some of that, but like I haven't seen it for sale.
Yeah, there's a lot of experiments that they have done with it, but
I mean, look at how
Yeah,
the fronts on the 50s are, right? Like there's a whole lattice work of like cutouts on the back, well, with like different like Z height cross bracing and stuff like that.
yeah, they're built intricately. But I would love to have the golden, the silver teeth on the theater. Basically, that's what it would give it. I think it would look sweet. I think it would look sweet. Maybe once I move to Florida and I settle in somewhere more permanently, I will order bespoke panels for the 90s in just silver, polished aluminum. I think those would look fucking balls.
I think that could very well be the case, yes.
I think they would look just amazing. And I think it would make them even more lighter to appear.
I also fear it may be extremely expensive.
Oh, hell yeah. Hell yeah.
Willie,
why would I take the Lab 8s?
No, did you say you would take the Lab 8 over the 28s?
Yes. Because you can get more of them. We were talking about that comparison picture with one set of 90s versus two pairs of 50s and a pair of 28s. And like I said, I would have swapped that pair of 28s for two pairs of 8s, which I would just allocate as height channels. I'm just basically maximizing the speaker count based off of the money in comparison to spending on one set of speakers, such as 90s. But 28s, quite honestly, would sound great in this apartment because the floor is concrete. They don't sound good on a wood floor, in my opinion, but that's just also my opinion only. I think that the solid floor,
it helps a lot.
It helps tremendously with the bass response. They're sounding way more accurate. Where, like in our shop, the store's 100 years old, whatever that building is, it just shakes the fucking termites off the joists. But it's flexing. You can feel that. Yes, you can feel that in your feet, which some people is cool. And it's going to the same argument that I think it was Jeff Martin that made the example when they were developing sound for Audi, where the choice of where to place the woofer was because of the guy that was making the decision process. He liked the fact that his pant leg was vibrating when he was driving the car. And that's why the drivers are positioned in the way they were, so you can feel the fucking music more. And it's the same effect with the 28s. If you have them on a concrete floor, they don't transmit that vibration through as much, but they sound way more, in my opinion, true to themselves as they would, room compensation or not, on the wood floor.
I feel my
because
50s
you're
in my
combating
feet.
Physics. Oh well, fuck. You can feel the 90s too in the chair and everything. Like they do. It's funny because you once you own the 90s, like I did for a while in my old apartment, you figure out the resonant frequencies of different materials in your home. because shit vibrates at different levels of bass. Further you go, whatever, like some you can feel in the chair, some you can hear in your cabinets with the wine glasses rattling, some you can hear in the wall where the Lumax is dancing in the joists or in the studs. So yeah, but that's I guess
Yeah,
that answers that.
most of the Romex in my walls is still stapled down. So I'm actually
They don't do
quite.
that in commercial buildings, and definitely not here in I've seen. They put plastic rings where it goes through the metal stud, right, so it doesn't get cut up or whatever. But there is no affixing that to solid of any kind. So when you go in there and we put a couple toggle bolts and attach a theater to the drywall, that so it's centered with the TV, because even if you hit a stud or not, doesn't matter. Shit in the wall be dancing, and you can tell right away as soon as you run the first microphone sweep.
Yeah, I'm really not a fan of that metal wall stud material. It's too flimsy.
It's bullshit. It's absolute bullshit. Maybe it doesn't burn as well because it's metal, but then again, it's too soft to do anything or any good.
I mean, it would be better if it was literally in the dimensions of a 2x4, right? Where like instead of a U shape, it was like a box shape.
Mm-hmm.
Because every time you think you have a stud, when you screw a screw in, like literally the thing falls over until it grabs and then it pulls back. But if you don't ever get to that, then you're just digging a giant hole in your drywall.
Because yeah, I use self-tapping screws because exactly that reason. So, oh, by the way, the March 1st came, and I had bought the first Lego with a B&O logo on it. It's so cool. The formula. Oh yeah, you got the big picture. There you go. See, it paid off at the end. I don't know why it doesn't want to focus now.
Bit further.
There we go. Yeah. So there it is. There's the Ferrari formula. I'm gonna buy the big one too, the Technic.
How big is the big one?
Like.
Oh, that's quite big.
Know. Yeah. No, I think it's either 50 or 60 centimeters.
That's quite large, yeah.
Lego Ferrari F1. I'll show you. This one. God, let me show you here. Poof. Doesn't have good reviews, I don't think. Let's get 3 in. The freaking cookies. Okay. Yeah. 13 by 24 by 61 centimeters long. 24 centimeters wide, 13 centimeters tall. So quite a bit.
Yeah.
And that one has even a bigger B&O sticker, so that's why it's getting. I don't care for Formula Technic, but dude, B&O logo on it. Call this.
In terms of marketing, I don't know if B&O knew about it or if they just stumbled into it, right? Like having your logo on a Ferrari now that like Hamilton is in there, I could see that paying off a lot more than before.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, I'm gonna be buying that. I'm not gonna have time because this week I'm actually out of town on an installation that, to begin with, I need to drive 4.5 fucking hours to get there. So I'm staying in a hotel, and it's it's gonna be a while before I come back.
Yeah, it's like here to Miami it's kind of brutal. You can do it in a day, but if you have a 6-hour install in between, it's like nah.
No, I'm gonna stay a night, so yeah. So I won't have time, but I definitely want to buy the big one. I don't know where I'm going to put it because here's the problem that's starting to amass. Longer I live here, the more Lego I buy. And on top of what I have in the boxes, I'm running out of places to put the new ones in because I don't really have any shelves. All my shit is in, it's still packed up. And I'm not really keen on undoing all of it and unpacking all the Lego because at some point I'll have to do it all over again. I did have a Lego room, KCBR. I had a Lego room back in Calgary. That was the whole point of that one room. It had a V1 in it. Well, that went to the kitchen after a while because why not have 2 TVs in the same room? And I had the lab ones in that room with a moment, and everything else around it was Lego. And then eventually I was doing the podcast out of that room because that's where my computer fit into that string system or shelf system that I had. But now that I'm thinking about it, I had amassed a lot more Lego over the time since I've been here also, that I need to buy more string shelves.
Yeah,
But
at some point you start running out of places to put everything.
Yeah, I was thinking like the Audi that I have, the e-tron. I was thinking of building something that I can just start attaching these things on the wall and hanging them proper so you can actually see the car. That would do the same with the Formula, and I have a whole bunch of these little speed champion things, right? Because I bought all the Audi ones, and I bought all and now I have the Ferrari thing. So yeah, all that needs to have a place somewhere.
I mean, I already feel like I ran out of room to put stuff.
For me, the problem also is like if I do put it on the wall and if I do listen to music loud, is it gonna come off?
Yeah, that's an issue.
Because it's Lego. It's not. Yeah, clutch power of bricks is only to an extent. I could, probably do it like Technic something, whatever. But the walls tend to dance a lot with the air being pushed around with these woofy woofers here. So
yeah.
And I have the bulldozer to build, which I'm still like I've been oodling and noodling it for a while, man. But it's what is it, 3,800 pieces or some ridiculous this fucking thing. Oh, 3,800 pieces.
Holy moly!
So I need to get that done, and I have that software that I bought 2 years ago that I was able to now upload the firmware onto those new control bricks, so I can pair it with the Xbox controller and I can drive it around instead of just having a phone, which the experience sucks because your finger slides off and the fucking thing doesn't steer properly. You don't understand. So I am gonna, when I build that the bulldozer, I'm gonna do the same thing. I'm gonna crack the firmware on it, and I'm in a search for a yellow Xbox controller now, which apparently does not exist. So that's the search. Lab 8s are sweet, man. You know what? The honeytone looks really cool, actually. I have to say, like that whole vignette display of Atelier looks pretty nifty. And I don't know, out of all the dealers that if are watching or not watching, if you got your display honeytone theater, was it assembled properly from the factory? Because the ones that I got, both of them, even the one that we were supposed to replace, is it wasn't put together properly. So there's gaps on the wings like a motherfucker, bro. It's not good. So yeah, Digibricks is not present for this one, but
you should look somewhere in your attic. Maybe she's there.
Building. But yeah, I still I'm gonna at some point I really wanted to do that, and I'm gonna do that where in the string shelves I actually wanted to build like a not a vignette, but what do you call it now? I cannot remember the name of it. A little scene, more or less, where you have the car and put it, like if I had the wood tractor, put it with the wood, like build a little Lego forest around it, put it all on the shelf like that, so they all have diorama. That's what I'm looking for.
I love these ceilings brackets, by the way, for the 8s.
They're cool. The only thing that sucks were the cable for power routes through. They should have, in my opinion, cut out higher above the tilt mechanism where you can fish it down and go instead of going around the post.
But if I were to hang them anywhere, they would hang like this, so close to a wall where you could only see if you could like
you that. Honestly don't see. The only reason why I bring it up as a point, because we've installed them where the living room was on the, I guess, on the left side behind the living room was the entrance to the house, right? And we put them in the ceiling so you could see those cables but they're all black anthracite. So I knew because I saw them, but people that come in, because I routed them so they go the other way from the entrance, so you don't see the wire, you see the bare minimum of it. But for me, it's like I wish they made the whole, like, machined it in there so you can just route that cable and push it down easier, but that's not the case. But they are very, very well designed. I have to give them that. They're very well designed for how easy they are to work with and install, and they are definitely forgiving on very shitty ceilings if you don't have a
Yeah.
choice. Some ceilings are crooked.
I mean, I like the wall brackets too. It's just the ceiling brackets, they're really fucking elegant. Though I wouldn't trust my ceiling here necessarily.
It's drywall, right?
Yeah. I would.
You're fine.
Yeah, I know, but it's like at some point the vibration, and if you're not directly on the stud, and
Bro, my V1 32-inch TV was hung off of 4 toggler bolts with no stud being hit in this apartment and in my kitchen in my old house. I never had an issue, never even came across to my mind that it would ever fall the fuck off. And it's way heavier than 2 pairs of Lab 8s when you're holding them in the box.
Only
so if you
2
put
of
them
my
on the
17s are on some studs. And,
yeah, but if you use, I'll show you.
No, I know. I have togglers.
Yeah, these are fucking cannons, bro. I use the 3/16 one. There are like 1/4 inch, but those are too big. Do I have one? I think I still have one here. Yeah. These. With the zippy in, they break off. These are the shit. And I had my BeoLab 8000s back in the day. I had them on the wall bracket with no stud being hit on 4 of those togglers. They never had a problem.
Yeah, so if I look at my TV, right, I use those togglers on the 2 up there.
Yeah.
The one in the middle on the side, I couldn't, so I had to use those white screw-in ones. Because here, from the outside to in, it's like concrete insulation, which is like that much. It's not much. And then drywall, right? So like the stud is like that thick, so you couldn't do much with it. So it's not on anything. Weirdly, it's the same for the interior wall on the other end, and then the 2 back ones are on semi-stud wood material of something.
But also, like, when you face the reality of it, Mikey, like, do you have them redirected to 0 for base redirection?
Close to, yes.
But how much bass do they pump out of the fucking top? Like, they're effect channels.
It's surprising.
No, I know, but there's a lot more basses coming out of the 50s than they come out of the. I don't think that you're in a worrisome state here.
No, but like, so the thing is, my 17s are on the wall, right? Like, and I know the wall drywall is at least 1/2 inch, if not 5/8. I have a feeling my ceiling drywall is 3/8.
Really? No.
Yeah. It's not very thick.
Fucking take out a pot light and
I will, but I don't think it's 5/8.
I don't think a 5/8 they wouldn't hang. It's too fucking heavy to put above your head, man. 1/2 inch was what you get. I'm sure of that. Which 1/2 inch is pretty good for that, and you have access to the attic space, right?
Yes.
Even if you didn't, the way that the bracket installs, you can cut enough of a hole that you can fit a shim of wood this long on each side and hold it while you drill in the bracket to the drywall. That's what we did in that house, and fuck, man, good luck. Like, you're not gonna do basketball hoops hanging off the speaker, for God's sakes, right? Like,
no.
So that'll work, and never had an issue. And they're big enough to even hide that goofy ass power plug, which I hate. But they considered enough that you could hide the North American standard plug or mains plug with the box. So They're very, very well done. I really kudos, man, because compared to like BeoLab 3s, Mac, where you have no room for error whatsoever, because everything is in the narrow, 2 centimeter wide or inch, I guess, bracket.
The KCVR says, reminds me of the picture with lab 5s on the ceiling. Yeah, but that ceiling was reinforced, right? Like in Europe, I would be much less, uh, have much less objection of putting stuff on the ceiling because most ceilings aren't drywall and studs and
It's
stuff.
concrete.
Yeah.
Here, no, you can crawl in, do your thing. I'm screwed for that because I don't have I don't have access. Like I rented it specifically because I like the look of the concrete and the whole industrial look of it. But yeah, I'm not. I'm done for as far as when it comes to installing anything.
Yeah.
So there.
At some point, I'll design my own house with like PVC in like all the walls, so you can easily pull cables and that sort of shit.
Conduit is the best way to go.
Yeah.
Even if you make something that you have on that most likely to have tech wall in the house, if you just have one like a 2-inch pipe going in from the mechanical room, all you need is a string and a vacuum with a little bit of a plastic bag attached to the end of the string and suck it through, and then you have pull cables, whatever you want, all day long.
Yeah, or you just tie it to an old cable, right? By the time
If you don't have any in there.
Yeah.
But yeah, if you do it, then you can definitely you can tie it to the old stuff. But yeah, I conduit is one of my highest recommended things to do if you're doing anything, because it saves your ass.
Especially if you start from a new build.
Yeah.
I mean, even Sandeep knows that now, right? Like he had a new floor put in, and then the wire for the rear speakers was put in, and then there's something with the wire, but there was it in conduit.
And you're screwed.
Yeah.
I've had my cables shot with baseboard nails and shit before too. I've seen that. And you're too fucking late. Now what?
Start over.
Yeah, there was a couple times that the laughter died. But
or you're back to Weiss.
I was no Weissa back in the day. This happened when I was doing a BeoVision 755 on the inset of the freaking this furniture wall with the Lab 11, Lab 3s, and Lab 4s as the rears. Everything was in a built-in cabinet. It was a nightmarish job, but it worked out very well at the end. Very well.
That's a lot of manual settings to get that to sound right.
Oh yeah, well, and remember when they had the adaptive sound technology, the ASD, where you could measure from 2 points or reference points, and I've done it for one client. It took me good 2 hours to get through all of that measuring stuff, but I think that was the entire spawn and idea. Was the first experiment with speaker presets and speaker groups. This is where it started with the adaptive sound technology. Because
Yes.
on the Beosystem 4 and the Avant, when the speaker presets came out, or speaker groups, that's when you could assign different roles to whichever. So it was definitely awesome. But
Sorry,
yeah,
Callum, you can't use 18s and a 19 with a stage.
no.
The only way to do that is with that Almando box, but I have yet to hear anybody do that. So how well it works, I don't
No
know.
idea.
Other than Almando usually works well, but I don't know what that means in this context.
Yeah, I don't have any technical or personal experience with that to extract a center channel into the core, or I mean into the stage while pumping the 18s.
I also
and the 19s.
wonder which drivers will be active at that point.
Could be all, and just maybe pushing mono into the core. I mean, into the stage.
Yeah, but then like the height drivers or the spatial drivers, the up firing ones.
Yeah, I don't know.
So yeah, I really, I I think you're in for a world of weird ass sound if you go that way.
Yeah, that is weird. I don't know. That's the Mickey Mouse setup. If you're going for it, if you got the
Yeah.
money for the 19s and 18s with the stage, then just get a theater on its own and buy speakers either secondhand or buy more speakers later. Especially like go with the Lab 8s.
Henning asks, BeoLab 18 plus 19 or directly go to 28s, even though the price difference is pretty huge and considering secondhand market in Europe. Well, 18 and 19, you need a source, right? So if you want to do it properly, you would need a BeoConnect core and probably a WiSA transmitter. Because I don't think the bass bit is done particularly well on the core where you just loop it in. I would still personally, I think, go for the 18 and 19, especially if you have a BeoVision TV of any sort.
I agree.
I mean, if you want to use them standalone for just audio, no screen attached whatsoever, go for 28s. Especially if you have a concrete or a solid floor or ground floor that's not made out of like the sub. I don't mean when I say the floor isn't made out of wood, I don't mean like you have like laminate or whatever. I mean the actual floor below that and the joists aren't wood.
The building.
Yeah.
So
yeah, theater is the way to go if you want to go like all out. It's by itself, it's already quite incredible in how it sounds.
yes.
I still don't agree with B&O's strategy of saying this is the most expensive soundbar. No, this is the fucking best soundbar. Yeah. Because it's not really a soundbar.
Well, if you go to the Atelier, then you can have it the most expensive soundbar in the world.
Yeah, but remember when it launched, right? Like they said to all these YouTubers that were there, like, this is the most expensive soundbar. It's like, who cares about expensive? Like, why not the best?
Yeah. What are you guys doing?
It's only a soundbar if you want it to be.
Which is nobody, I don't think, uses it as a soundbar.
Yeah, very few
I've never
people.
installed one on its own. I've never installed one on its own. Because what's the point? The worst experience you can have with the theater is you buy a fucking Samsung frame panel to it. That's highly not recommended. In my professional experience with it and how Samsung does whatever it does dirty.
This is another thing where I kind of don't understand why B&O did this, but like, why must it support literally every brand and every TV from every range? Like, what was wrong with LG? Look, if anything, you could have made it a competition between LG and Sony, right? Because people say, oh, Sony's picture processing is the best. Okay, fine. We're going to support LG and Sony. But why must we support LG, Sony, Panasonic, Philips,
Samsung?
Yeah.
Zenith.
Like, this is like, it's too cumbersome. It's too much to work on. And the standards aren't really standards as we found out and probably knew for quite a while. Where like CEC is supposed to work a certain way, but there apparently is leeway within the standard that not all CEC is the same.
Yeah, and unfortunately, it works the worst with Sony TVs that I found out, and also.
Yeah, but it would be less of an issue if there's only like two brands you have to focus on for product support, right?
Yes.
Instead of
because they assume, which is the bad word anyways, but they assume that everybody follows the same CEC protocol, right? Which doesn't happen. And like with Samsung per se, with the frame TVs, they behave fucking different because they turn off, but they're not really off, right? Because now there's art and shit. So it's weird sometimes how the theater behaves, especially in the early ages of the software, which is, now it's mostly rehashed and resolved, but I can guarantee you that most of the people that we've had, even with the theaters that did have Samsung frame, we have very few now that kept the Samsung frame panel. They all swapped it over time with LGs, either C or G, but mostly G panels. Which also kind of sucks, because if you go with the black anthracite theater, right, like you have to resort to a cheaper panel to go to the C series because they have a black bezel. Same with the gold tone. You got to buy the C panel so it looks nice.
You can always buy a Sharpie.
That shows. That shows, man. I wish there was a way to just treat it somehow, or B&O had,
get
since
shoe
they're
polish
doing
out.
fuck, shoe polish the frame. Call this, but no, like there's gotta be a way. Like even if B&O would want to make those aluminum profiles for, let's say, like if you're doing
Trudeau,
a bespoke,
he seems to be able to make everything black, right?
fuck. But if you do atelier, like why not have the orange frames come with your G panel? You know what I mean? Then the tech would just pop off the back of the metal back of the TV, re-screw the frame, and Bob's your uncle. From what I remember, it's a few screws to take the frame off.
I don't know. Sometimes I feel like they go like it's sort of all the way in, except for like that last little bit.
Mm-hmm.
It's like
we'll take it 99%.
I mean, it's sort of like we hang this painting and it's like perfectly symmetrical on the wall and perfectly that way, and then you hang it and it's like half a degree off, right? And it's just like, yeah, that's good enough. Like,
we're fine.
What the hell, man? I mean, it's sort of like you take your lasers out to have it exactly where you want it to be, and then you hang it by eyesight.
Though I think the shape is the worst for that. The crooked look optical illusion.
Yeah.
I've had that, man. I'm like, I took the laser level 3 times. Like, there's no fucking way this is off. And it wasn't. But that's the beauty of it.
I mean,
I think that if I were to, I was actually very much toying, with the idea of putting the shape up based on the inspiration that I had now recently gotten from Discord, making a backplate for it, which we've discussed years and years and years ago on the podcast. But it might be the time for me to just make a hexa shape and cut out the thing.
Yeah, Mr. Cadiz and Mr. Beojohn.
Mm-hmm.
Like it also saves so many goddamn holes in your wall.
Oh, of course.
Like I hope Henrik took pictures when he took his shape down from that one wall, right? Because that wall was essentially just Swiss cheese. Like it was gone.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, that had what? How many tiles he had? If you do it correctly, then there's
26.
Oh, it is. So that's like, if he did 6 screws per each, that's proper. Then that's a lot, man. I had 12 tiles. That was 76 screws. So he's upwards of 150 something screws, which is a lot. But yeah, this is a good idea to do the shape in a shape. Because yeah, you did 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 holes for screws. The only thing is, how do you bring power? You know?
Yeah, but you can probably drill a hole somewhere, right? Like I mean, all the backing is covered anyway.
Mm-hmm. I thought about doing that, but making the backing thick enough to put LED Hugos behind it, or Philips Hue behind it, the LED strip all the way around.
Surely you can just do that if you use plywood that's like half an inch thick. You can get that here anyway.
Exactly.
Is it in photos? Let's see.
Then you just jigsaw the shit out of it. Yeah, might be onto something cool, because that is a great idea.
And then you can put the hue thing in one of the shape.
Yeah. Well, you just need a power supply, right? Basically for that. So. Yeah, I'm thinking maybe I'll do it on this wall and move all the picture frames away and put them on the other walls.
I mean,
Busy
you
that
have
up.
a what, a 6 or an 8 tile shape?
12.
12.
It's 2 by 1 meters if I go the way that I had it back in the day.
I mean, you wouldn't need more than 5 toggle bolts, like 4 on the corner and 1 in the middle, essentially. Especially if
It
you
would
have it
be.
on plywood, right? Like on OSB, it's flexes more, but plywood, like good plywood,
It'd be solid. It'd be
yeah,
solid. First of all, second of all, I think that having them used as rear channels only, as surround backs, wouldn't be that big of a deal.
no.
Too bad I have only 1 amp. Because if I had 2 amps, I could have assigned the second pair of speakers for height and just make a larger square that you have surround back and surround height. But that's not in the cards here. I don't even know if the shape is in the cards here, but maybe when I get bored enough to do it.
Like Mr. Kitties and Beojon, I think already found out. Like a shape is one of these, like we're all addicted to B&O, right? But this is a peculiar one because you can. It's one of the few things where you can just keep adding to it and adding to it, and it doesn't even need to be that expensive because you can just add empty tiles to it. But then at some point you go like, actually, I could put more speakers in there.
So I can talk to Henrik about that.
And by the time you're done, like your shape goes literally from like one end to the other, right? Your whole fucking wall's a shape.
Oh, it grows like moss, dude. It's what it is. But yeah, I like it. I like it. I don't think that I would use it as a shape. And thankfully, I still have the old core, so I can reset the amp to be just a stereo amp. And then I would put the speakers at the very back. Maybe I would just have them as surround back or surround heights
Yeah. Yeah, like
all
Christian says,
together.
my tip for creating a backplate is to install it on a plate, uncut, draw a line around it, and then subtract about 2 centimeters from the entire edge and then paint it black. Yeah, that sounds good to me.
Yeah.
And then wind around your LED strip.
Yeah, I would also probably route a channel into the tile where it comes to, so you can actually, just because there's never LEDs that end exactly butt to butt, right, from the start
Yeah.
to beginning. Like you always have to go inside and tape, whatever 6 or 8 inches that's left of it with black tape, so they don't leak light into the tile. But yeah, I'm very much entertaining that idea.
Could be very nice for ambient lighting. I mean,
Oh
modern
hell yeah!
LEDs get also, like, they have such a range from, like, brightness to, like, shimmer that you could almost use it, like, behind it as, like, a regular reading lamp.
Well, I would like to use the hues that you put around your TV, right? Because you can use those as well, and those do the pulsing, so you can have light traveled in different colors through it, or
Yeah.
have it like I don't know. I would build a macro so it just goes right around the whole shape as it turns on. I think that would look cool.
Yeah.
So
I mean, I was looking at, like, this sort of LED wall sconce thing, and it was just a LED strip inside. And, God, it was like, I don't know, like it was like this long, like 2-3 feet. No, 2 feet. Like, so it was like somewhere between 60 and 70 centimeters.
mhm.
And like total light output is 1200 lumen. It's like, holy fuck, that's bright.
Oh yeah, no, even the Philips Hue stuff is they don't piss around. It's very bright. It's very bright, and I like it. And you know what? It works very well with the gateway. I have a couple weird things going on right now that I just cannot fathom to understand what fuck's going on. But one of them is I have the same macro triggered from my keychain with the light stop command, and I tied in a button from the halo to that same command, leaving, right? So when I'm leaving, I can just press the button on the halo, and by the time I get to the everything's shut down. Everything shuts down. It turns on the bloody left speaker light. It turns on the bathroom. It shuts everything off, and then this one comes on, the bathroom comes on, and my under the bed light comes on for no reason. Same macro ran from the halo that is ran from the through a IR light stop command through the moment. 2 different outcomes of the map. I have no idea what the actual shit is going on, but I need to figure it out. I'm gonna play with it later on tonight.
Something very B&O is going on.
Something very BNO is going on. Maybe I just need to delete the macro and start it from scratch and see if that helps. I just need to remember the sequences. So,
what is
the max?
No, number of surround speakers in a B&O. I think it's 7.1.4 in. Well, so
in direct mode.
Yeah, in direct mode, right? Otherwise, I think you can go. What is it?
Well, it's 8 WISA.
12.6.4 or something. Like
it's 12 power. No, sorry, it's 8 power link outputs, right? So 8 channels you have power link. You have 8 channels WISA. That's 16 plus 4 DPL or digital power link. So now
20.
that's 20, and plus whatever you've got in the theater, which is what?
6, I
think. 7 channels.
Yeah.
So it's 27 channels that the true image processor can run, basically. And how you assign them, I'm sure you're gonna have duplicates at some point of roles.
Absolutely.
But I don't know how it would sound fucking great, I'm sure, because that true image then works off of the distances more or less than anything.
Oh, I currently am using 7.0.4, and it's fucking excellent.
Well, you don't need the subs, 250s or 250s.
Well, if you count the 50 as a subwoofer, right, then it's 7.4.4. So it's great. It's fantastic.
It's great. Oh, shit.
Like people that are in the area come by and attest to it, because so far everybody's said like, "Holy fuck!"
Well, that's all you can say. Like, it's an insane system. Not many showrooms even have that as a setup. You know what I mean?
No, I remember telling John, 2-3 years ago when he was still in Manchester, like, put some height channels up. Like, you'll sell a lot more of them. And initially, it was like, and then he did it, and it was like, yeah, actually, that makes quite a difference.
Makes a huge difference. But
anyway, we're gonna call it for today, because
whoever slept in, you missed an hour, so you can go and rewatch.
Yeah, go rewind. See you all next week. Next week, Willie and I will be an hour early because, like, we're already in summertime. Like, Europe
for European
yet.
buddies, I guess, right? Yeah, Europe is not in, but yeah, we jumped the ship already this morning, which I found out almost the hard way. But I have made it here in time.
Yeah. Anyway, have a very good week. See you all next week, and stay safe.
Thanks for watching.
Bye.
Bye.
This one.